Whether you're a guy in a cape.
You need to get a little more soul in this. Aretha Franklin just died. I'm a rogue who's sneaky.
Join Chris and Roger as we...
That touched my soul a little. I feel a tingle in my nether regions.
In your loins.
Yeah.
Entertain the geeky.
So, Chris.
Roger, what's going on?
Man, not much. I don't know if Aretha Franklin, I don't want to say deserves a moment of silence because obviously she does. But I don't know if she fits our criterion of nerddom moment of silence. But it is sad that she has passed.
We'll give her one.
All right, so we gave her one. No, I have a very interesting thing about this. So Aretha Franklin died.
Yep.
And this is the same thing that happens whenever any actress and musician dies. Radio, TV, whatever, just constantly blast us with their product.
They do.
Like Aretha Franklin, she was such a mesmerizing character. She did all these amazing things. She listened to her music. Well, motherfucker, play that shit when she was alive.
I agree.
Like.
Well, it's that whole you don't know what you got till it's gone.
But it's not that it's gone. It's like, oh, she died. Here we go. 24 hours of Aretha Franklin.
Celebrating the life of, though.
Yeah,
that's nice.
But put it in rotation. Like, don't just act like just because they're dead all of a sudden they left a mark in the world. That mark was there. And this argument's with Carrie Fisher or any of the legends that we've lost lately. Like, my fear is when Stan Lee dies, it's going to be so overblown that I'm going to be like, fuck you guys. I loved that man before he died.
That's one of those really tough things because, yeah, Stan Lee is celebrated hardcore now.
Right.
And, yeah, when that guy goes... Whew,
and I hate to say this, it's not long off.
I mean, he's 94 years old.
94 years old. His health is deteriorating.
It happens.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see in the coming years how we will remember Stan Lee. Because keep in mind, how we reviewed Stan Lee 10 years ago to how we view him now has completely changed.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more things. I hate to use this word that these young fucking kids use now, but we've become woke on how things happened back then. Stan Lee is Stan Lee. And now it's when you give creative control, creative content to Stan Lee, you have to throw in Jack Kirby. You have to throw in Steve Ditko. Whereas 10, 15 years ago, it was
nobody knew who they were.
Fucking Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Which, good on us. Good on us for realizing that it was more than just one man creating these things.
Well, yeah, it's just not recognizing giants
right
that were beside that person. Giants.
Mm-hmm.
We can't say that. There's not enough emphasis that can be put on that. Giants.
Right.
They shaped everything.
They did.
Them not getting their basically what they deserve out of the gate. That's tough.
Well, it's not just it's not like Stan Lee did it. I mean, it's not.
It wasn't his fault.
No, it's just the way that it was the way that
it was the market.
Stan Lee was the face.
He was the Queen of England.
Yeah,
we've had this conversation before.
We have, but like, look at the Joel Schuster and the other guy that created. See, I can't think of the other guy's name who created Superman. They didn't get credit until the movie came out. Like they were broke.
Delivering pizza and shit.
No, one of them was delivered a package to DC, and the CEO gave him $20 to go buy a Coke because he couldn't afford a Coke.
That's fucking insane.
And they did not get the recognition until they saw the movie, and it was created by these guys.
Yeah, these guys did that.
Right.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, I mean, you know my feelings on Superman.
The fact of the matter is he shaped everything for us.
Speaking of which, hold on. Can we have a conversation?
Shoot.
All right. Who was it? Steve Galambos and his girlfriend and Peter Chu and Craig Stanley's the one that started this. Started the conversation.
Post?
Yeah. Who would win in the fight? Superman or Wolverine?
Superman.
Wolverine.
I disagree.
Why?
Superman has all the power that Wolverine does not have. He would fucking evaporate him.
No. Superman's the man of steel. Wolverine cuts through steel.
He wouldn't. You might. Hey, he could make him bleed. I'm not denying that.
That's the question is, do the claws cut Superman?
Which version of Wolverine? That's the better question.
Adamantium.
It's adamantium?
Of course.
So there was a T-Rex in the Justice League cartoon in the 90s that made Superman bleed, and it was a big deal.
Right.
Okay, Lex Luthor's like, it actually made him bleed, and that's how he cloned him.
Right. And Doomsday,
smacked the shit out of him.
And he wasn't made of kryptonite, so that argument of, well, you got to have kryptonite to kill Superman is gone.
Yeah, no, you have to be strong as fuck.
Yeah, you just got to. And
I don't think Wolverine necessarily possesses the strength. Like, could he beat Superman to a point of submission? No.
No. But the thing is, if the claws cut,
he could do some serious
Wolverine
damage.
wins.
But would he get close?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You're talking about the guy that can fly, shoot lasers.
Yeah, you're fine.
No,
Yeah,
I disagree.
Look, here's the thing that Superman doesn't have that Wolverine does. Berserker rage.
You know, the thing that Superman doesn't have, or that he does have that Wolverine does not, is Superman is way too moral to kill Wolverine. Wolverine is not.
Okay.
If you're that threat, Wolverine would try to kill you. So if it came down to a death match, and it's not like an evil Superman, no, man.
No, Wolverine wins all the time.
He's not going to win. The fight's going to get postponed. Basically, Superman would round him up and put him somewhere else.
No, I don't think so. I think what'll happen is Superman...
He could fly that motherfucker into space.
Look, if fucking Iron Bat beat the shit out of Superman...
Iron Bat used kryptonite particles.
Fine. We're not saying that... So?
And this is one of the interesting things about Wolverine. Like, he's stronger than most people.
Right.
Because of his regeneration.
Right.
With that, you get enhanced strength and all this stuff. So, and he's 5'4" and weighs 220
I'm not
pounds.
saying Wolverine is stronger than Superman. That's not the conversation.
No, I know. But as far as damage output goes, because, yeah, okay, if some weak-ass dude went and had an adamantium knife and tried to stab Superman, might not do anything.
Hold on. No, because the assumption is adamantium would cut him. Right? Do we agree on that?
If it's sharp enough, I think it would.
So we agree that adamantium would cut Superman.
But it would have to be sharp.
Okay, well, Wolverine's claws are sharp.
If he has enough power behind it to pierce the skin, he could do damage. But it's not like Superman's going to sit there and try to get into a punching match.
Wait, no, he would, because that's what Superman does.
Sometimes.
No, all the time. Every time Superman's like, oh, I use my laser beams, oh, I burst to win, oh, I freeze him. No matter what, at the end, it ends up into a punching fight.
That's poor writing.
Well, that's
because
Superman.
Because when he takes Batman's vehicle out in Batman v Superman, it's like, laser beam, fuck you.
Then they get into a fist fight.
That's because Superman's trying not to fight him.
And even in the big bad guys, in Man of Steel.
Or Justice League.
It's just one big fucking fist fight.
No, that's so stupid.
Okay?
That's so stupid.
So we know Superman may have the powers, but he's like, you know what? He's a guy that wants to hug.
I'll punch it out with you.
Right.
Maybe you're right there.
No, Wolverine wins if adamantium cuts the skin. If adamantium can cut Superman.
And Superman's dumb enough to make that fight.
Then Wolverine wins. Because at that point, it's just Wolverine always... Because Superman...
If he fights Wolverine's fight and adamantium cuts him, he's fucked.
Yeah, because Superman is still a man. Like you pierce his lungs, he can't breathe. You pierce his heart, he dies.
Yeah.
And the claws pierce skin, cut through...
You cut his head off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where Wolverine is, Wolverine will get blasted with the eye thing, but guess what?
He might live.
He's gonna live.
Most times, yes.
Yeah. We have seen Wolverine get his skin completely burnt off, and he rejuvenates.
We've seen him get his skeleton completely ripped out.
Yeah.
And live.
Yeah.
90s X-Men shit.
Shit, Magneto fucked him up.
Bad. That actually almost did kill him, by the way.
So I've changed your mind.
No, not entirely. I stand by... If Wolverine fights Superman's fight, yeah, he's not going to win it.
And that's what Superman's good. Superman does not have a strategy
if Superman fights Wolverine's
Superman's strategy is, look at my powers. Oh, you're still here. Let's go.
Yeah. And that would be a mistake on his part, because he could win the fight otherwise.
Right. Now, we're not talking like because if it was Dr. Manhattan versus Superman, Dr. Manhattan all day, every day.
Dr. Manhattan has something that Superman doesn't, and he's truly objective.
Yeah. Yeah. Superman is emotional.
So if you don't need to exist, you don't exist.
Right.
Superman doesn't... Oh, no, you should exist still.
Dr. Manhattan is what Superman should be.
In an ideal world, yes. The thing that makes Superman relatable...
is he gets on some moral high ground.
Is he's human.
No, because he's not.
No. When I say he's human, I mean he's compassionate.
He's what we should be.
The compassion is what makes him good.
But we've lost... I think that's what we've lost. God, are we really going to talk about Superman now?
For a minute.
Fuck. God, you know how I feel about this fucker. That's what makes Superman good. And I think that's what we've lost.
His character?
Yes.
He's Captain America with all of the power in the world.
Well, I'm going to say this. He's better than Captain America. Because Captain America...
Depends on the writer.
Well, yeah, no. Okay, definitely is. We're looking... Here we go. All-Star Superman. Okay. Dying of cancer.
Yeah.
One of the best Superman runs.
Ever.
Yeah. Because it wasn't about Brainiac or Lex Luthor or Doomsday. It was, here's a man coming to grips with his own mortality who's Superman. And he did it in such a graceful way.
When was that written, by the way?
Early 2000s.
So that was a total ripoff of the Death of Captain Marvel.
Oh, definitely.
That's hysterical.
Definitely. Except it wasn't like Captain Marvel, we had years of Captain Marvel dying.
With cancer, though.
Yeah.
And he's gone, by the way. He didn't come back. No retcon there.
Yeah.
He's not going to.
Don't say that, because remember the poster boy for Marvel was Colossus will always stay dead. Colossus ain't dead no more.
That's fair, but he's been dead since the 70s.
And?
He ain't coming back.
So? What's your point? He can always come back.
He could.
Yeah, look.
I've had a conversation with Joe Perez a couple of times. Joe Perez is a longtime comic book reader. For you listeners,
we've talked about Joe on the show.
Yeah, we have, but we've got new people. He has been buying from the shop that we worked at for all of our lives. Basically.
Not all my life.
Basically. He's been buying there for fucking 25 years.
Yeah, but
You're 34.
Yeah, I'm old.
But
I think I'm almost as old as Joe.
That's most of your life.
Joe is...
I think he's in his 50s.
Is he? I thought he was in his 40s.
Late 40s, early 50s, somewhere like that. He's seasoned.
Like a well steak.
And he's a fucking boss. And he has made the point several times. He's like, Captain Marvel was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. He's like, and the fact that they've left him dead is awesome. He's like, it makes cancer mean something, and it makes a death mean something. And that's what we miss in comic books.
Well, except, here's my only argument to that is, the only way you know Captain Marvel is dead from cancer is, one, you do your research, because the character's been replaced.
Yeah.
In fact, we're not getting the
Multiple times.
Yeah, we're not getting the Captain Marvel movie that we should be getting. We're getting Brie Larson Captain Marvel, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, Carol's Captain Marvel, and she's been for a long time.
Right, but we're not getting the Captain Marvel.
No.
And
the Kree
badass,
yeah.
Right. So that death, while it says it means something, look at Gwen Stacy's death. Gwen Stacy doesn't really mean anything currently in Spider-Man until the writers bring it up in a stupid bullshit arc where, oh god, she slept with Norman Osborn.
Right.
Because that was a thing.
It was. That was bad.
That was a thing. She fucking had Norman Osborn's babies.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot about that.
Well,
now it brought it all up.
Then they bring her back again as Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, but that's in a shattered universe
it's a different
type thing.
Yeah.
But that death doesn't mean anything, and it didn't mean anything for a long time. It was a shock for like the next 5 years.
It was a big ordeal. That was huge in shaping Spider-Man, though.
Right, but to say that it still means something is kind of flawed, because you know what means more to Spider-Man now than the death of Gwen Stacy?
Mary Jane.
Right.
100%.
Oh, are they married? Are they not married? Here's the problem with Spider-Man is...
Too much timeline jumping.
Oh my god, fuck yeah. Stop.
Too much timeline jumping.
Stop.
Well, the thing that I think everybody was scared of is to have the teenager that everybody fell in love with turn into a grown-up. But the fact of the matter is, guys, it's a 50-year fucking run.
Well, and here's the thing. We still have, especially now with the way they've done it, leave Peter Parker in his 30s. The way that it's been written since... Honestly, Peter Parker's been 30 for most of our lives.
He was 28 4 years ago. 28, 29,
okay.
Almost 30, basically. Married man age.
Right. He's been an adult for most of our lives.
Oh, yeah.
We now have Miles Morales.
To be our teenager.
So give us our Spider-Man. Let Miles Morales be that teenage Spider-Man. Give us a cohesive fucking timeline for Peter Parker, and let's go.
Well, that's what sucks, too. So, okay, think about this. Civil War... Spider-Man's aging changed there too, because he's like, well, I've been Spider-Man since I was 16. He's in his mid-20s, and then a couple of years later, he's fucking 5 years older, and you're like,
makes no sense.
You're like, what?
Yeah, yeah, fuck off.
It's bizarre.
Fuck off. Give
a real overarching timeline.
Fucking make Peter Parker Peter Parker. Let him be. Let that character that we've been in love with
develop.
Keep developing. Yeah. Keep going. Quit jumping back and forth to time. Quit bringing back Harry every 10 years to be his best friend, and going back to high school, and then fuck all that. We have Miles Morales now.
He's our kid.
He is our kid Spider-Man, and I love him. He's a fucking great character. Let him be that kid Spider-Man. Let Spider-Man be Spider-Man. Let Peter Parker be the older Peter Parker. Let him be the seasoned hero, the one that's got the baggage, still trying to fucking keep the lights on.
That what you just said is so relatable for so many people, and that's how you keep people that are in their fucking 20s, 30s, 40s
reading
that comic, because fuck, we've all been there where it's like, how the fuck am I going to pay rent this month?
Right. That's what Peter Parker... The reason Spider-Man works, the reason Peter Parker works, is he's supposed to be the everyman who happens to be a superhero.
Yeah.
You know, one of the best issues ever was where the fucking building dropped on him when he was trying to give Aunt May his fucking medicine. You know, that's what makes Peter Parker good. That's what makes Spider-Man a good character. It's not Venom. It's not Carnage. It's not Doc Ock. It's me.
It's the content of the character.
Yeah, fuck me. I gotta go save this kid out of this goddamn burning building, and I'm gonna be late for my date. Motherfucker.
Or I might not make it to work on time, and I'm gonna get my ass chewed.
And I'm gonna get fired.
Yeah.
And now I can't pay rent, and I'm back to living with that one fucking student with the fucking rat daughter.
That's a fair point. That's actually kind of funny. But yeah, that's
not kind of funny. That's comic gold.
That they need to let him grow up.
Let our characters be relatable. You're
let him progress.
Well, and the thing is you're in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. The kids would read comics, they'd grow out of it, and they'd stop reading comics. So you had to keep the characters around the same age to keep the new readers coming and going. Like Peter Parker needed to stay in high school to get the new readers hooked.
They could also, here's the thing, they don't have to age like us.
No, they don't. And they don't.
It could take 10 years for every 3 of ours or whatever.
Especially when you look at the fact that 12 issues could be a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
That could be a day even, depending on the read. Yeah.
Right. So 12, like a year in our time could be a day or a week in a comic book time. I'm fine with that. My issue is, what I was saying was that it used to be you would have rotating readers. Young kids would jump on, older kids would jump off. So you kept them around the same age.
But now it's
in the 80s,
seasoned readers that keep it.
The 80s changed. The 80s changed. Now you have people who are reading comics well into their 30s, 40s, 50s, passing these stories on to their kids and grandkids now. And the only way to keep these people, the way to keep you and I engaged, because we had this conversation before we recorded that you and I aren't reading right now.
No, we're not.
And it's because we're not engaged in comics.
It's hard to.
Yeah, the continuity is so screwed.
I don't want to go. Okay, how many different series have you got into over the course of your life?
Oh Jesus,
it's a shit ton.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to go invest in a new series now and then have it retconned in a week.
Right, and I think the issue, there's always been to me. We've had this conversation before 150 different times. Straczynski's run on Spider-Man is the best run until you get to Superior Spider-Man.
Superior Spider-Man's my shit.
I think, and Superior Spider-Man did a really good job of retconning.
It also had overarching consequences that affect Peter Parker today.
Yeah, guess what? Mary Jane Peter Parker. Not Mary.
Yeah, it affects him today, and that's awesome. That's good.
And Peter Parker needs to move on over Mary Jane. This redheaded hoe.
This bitch.
Keep putting his heart through the ringer. It's time to move on.
C.S. Lewis has a quote about that.
What's that?
It's some quote about love. I'm not going to sap it up right now. But it's basically something along the lines of you have to put yourself out there so that you can get hurt. And if you ever love somebody, you will surely have your heart put through the ringer.
But here's the thing.
Peter Parker doesn't learn.
Here's the thing. Mary Jane has been the longest fucking rebound in history.
Slash wife, slash mother of his children.
No. She is the longest rebound. Because in a comic book, the death of his love, Gwen Stacy, he rebounds Mary Jane. There was no in between. There was no, let me just get my rocks off and da-da-da-da like normal human beings do. Because when you break up with your love or they die, you have the rebound, or 2 or 3 rebounds, and then you get in a serious relationship. Peter Parker went, oh no, my blonde died.
You could be the serial relationship person though, which Peter Parker
appears
to be.
No, she's the longest rebound. He needs to go. You know that little midget that Doc got hooked up with? She was fine.
Girl.
Yeah, she was fine. Peter, she's still working for you. She knew that you were Doc Ock. She still likes you. Go there.
She doesn't like Peter the same way that she liked Ock.
Well, no, but you know what? Sometimes things just happen. I'm just saying, a late night, a couple shots of whiskey, you know. Peter, Marvel, if you're listening, you've done a very good job of keeping Mary Jane out of the movies, and I kind of hate you for it because I want to see that. Imagine Tom Holland and Mary Jane. Like Tom Holland's Peter Parker with Mary Jane would be an amazing screen time. But now I'm going to talk to you Marvel comic book people.
Oh, I think they're afraid to do that though.
Fuck them.
Because it was done with Raimi's Spider-Man.
I don't give a shit.
No,
if you're going to reboot it. Go the full 9. Guess what? This isn't Raimi's Spider-Man. We had that.
Well, I think they're trying to treat it like it's not that and like it's not Garfield's Spider-Man.
You know what, though? You know what? Mary Jane is a big part of Peter Parker's life. So is Gwen Stacy.
There's no
So is Captain Stacy. So is all these characters. And if you're gonna sit there and say we brought Spider-Man home, bring him home and do it right. Homecoming was a damn good movie. You know what? Fucking move on.
It wasn't perfect.
It was not perfect. There was things missing. It was fucking. It was Avengers 3.5 or whatever the fuck it was.
Kind of.
Yeah. Let's bring these characters that we love into these movies. I want to see Mary Jane. I want to see Harry. I want to see, if you're truly saying you're about Spider-Man home, retell those stories. I'm fine with it. Because you're going to do a hell of a lot better job than was done. And you're getting a much bigger audience because guess what, Marvel? You just have a license to print money right now. Disney, you have a license to print money. Tell these stories. If anyone's going to tell the Clone Saga appropriately, it's going to be you. And if you do tell the Clone Saga, I better see fucking Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and
Tobey Maguire.
All in the same goddamn movie.
It would be great if they did cameos.
Yeah, as Peter Parker.
They don't even have to be Peter Parker.
No, because they're the clones. Fuck it, I'm in. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Right?
Well, the issue that you run into, they don't look enough like him.
No, it's fine.
In the Clone Saga,
they're fucked up clones.
You can't tell.
Right, they're fucked up clones.
Okay.
They're fucked up clones. They're
So one of them's Kane, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
The one that gets discarded.
Right.
None of them could be Kane. None of them is 6'4".
That's fine. Fucking Hugh Jackman's a big guy and he played Wolverine.
Get Hugh Jackman to play Kane?
Fuck it.
Get a 50-year-old man to do it.
Fuck it, I don't care. Get Patrick Stewart to play Kane. You do the Clone Saga. Fuck it, do it. Tell Marvel. Disney. I challenge you to take the worst storyline that Spider-Man ever had and turn it into a movie.
A good one.
No, because you've known that I say Marvel movies aren't good. But turn it into a movie, I want to know how much money they'll make, because at that moment, I will tell you then, the storyline doesn't matter. Disney has a right to print money.
Oh, you just want to be right.
Oh, yeah. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Okay, we're gonna switch topics here.
The fuck we are.
Change gears. Now, you want to talk about Pathfinder 2.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. So,
it's good.
What's going on?
Well, so they released the playtest. Now, you can't... I love this conversation with saying it's good in the sense of it's good, but we don't know what the final product's going to be because it is the playtest. You can download the playtest for free. You can get the entire book for free on Paizo's website. You can get a hardcover copy. You can go buy a softcover copy if you want.
Yeah, $25 or something for a softcover copy. Not bad. I won't buy a playtest book
because it's not the final product.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it's not the final product. We don't know what the changes are going to be that they're actually going to make. But the 5th edition's got some competition coming around the corner.
Well, that was the point, though. So one of the things that has to be talked about in the D&D space is how something translates to other medias.
Yeah.
Or other mediums. So you have podcasts, streaming, and all that. And Pathfinder doesn't do well with them. The original Pathfinder.
No, the original Pathfinder is running on a system that was made in the 90s. Or 2000.
And that's not me knocking it. A bunch of people love it. It just doesn't go well with that. And now they're like, okay, this is the future, so we have to do this.
Let's back up. Let's you and I haven't done this in a minute. Let's actually talk about the formation of Pathfinder. When D&D 3.5 came out, Pazio Publishing was the one doing Dragon Magazine. Was doing Dragon and Dungeon magazines. That was their thing. They had a license with WotC to release, and that's how they were making money.
Yeah.
So they were releasing adventures, supplements, doing all of that through Dungeons and Dragon magazine, respectively. When 4th edition came out, WotC decided to go away from print, from Dungeons and Dragon, to do the media, to do their own little app thing, thus ending the contract with Paizo Publishing. Paizo then saw that the OGL was there. Their revenue was cut. There was no way that they were going to make money. So they decided to release 3.75.
It's die or
right.
Adapt.
So they released 3.75. They released an edition, a supplement, a new game based on 3rd edition, a very successful, revolutionary game. As much as I hate to give it credit, 3rd edition D&D
is relevant. It's relevant.
It saved the role-playing market. It did. It created a huge boom. I mean, we had a bust, but it created a huge boom. And Pathfinder came out right at the time 4th edition was coming out. So a lot of players, and this is where the split came, is you were either a D&D fan or you were a 3rd edition fan. And WotC did 4th edition. They did pretty well 4th edition. It was successful in its own right.
It made money.
But Pathfinder just boomed, and Pathfinder was outselling D&D for years to come until 5th edition. 5th edition hits. Now Pathfinder being a game now. It's an old game at this point. Pathfinder's
almost 10
years old. Has not seen a lot of revisions to the rules. It's still basically 3.75.
It's got enough supplementation to where the game's broken.
Right, and it is a bloated game at this point. So So they've decided to streamline and redo a lot of things and basically release Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Now, on this show, I have stated my hatred for D20, my hatred for 3rd Edition, my hatred for Pathfinder. While reading the playtest book, because I've read a big chunk of it, I haven't played it yet, 2 things strike me. One, it's very fucking complex. There's a lot of meat to this fucking game. Everything is covered. It is so rules heavy.
Typical of Pathfinder.
Except, unlike 3rd Edition to where it's rules heavy and contradictory, it's rules heavy and it makes sense. You have, the way the book is laid out, once you read it and comprehend once you realize what's going on, everything makes perfect sense. Point in case, mounted combat. How does mounted combat work in 5th Edition? Do you know?
No clue.
No one knows. It's there. There's 3 things you can do, but no one knows where the fuck it goes. You can run in, dodge, or dash. That's what you do on mounted combat, but no one knows it's a skill check. Where does it go? Is it your action that makes your mount do this? Pathfinder, here's what you can do. Here's where it goes. Here's how it works. Well written, well thought out, good to go. The reason I say D&D's in trouble is, while 5th Edition is a very good way to get into the role-playing game, for experienced gamers, there's a lot lacking. A lot of rules, a lot of 5th Edition rules are left up to the DM.
They are.
Pathfinder, 2nd Edition, just on the playtest book, again, this is all in the playtest, gets rid of that. You have clear, concise rulings.
Well, and there's going to be, we're going to see a division of players again. We will, because here's the thing. There are people that like the rule-heavy games.
Yes.
There are people that like the open-ended games.
Yes.
So, is it going to kill 5th Edition? Doubtful.
It's in trouble.
Is it going to be competition?
It's going to be big, healthy competition.
It's going to be good competition.
Because, well, here's the thing about 5th Edition that no one's talking about. 5th Edition sales are down. WotC overall sales are down.
What's 5th Edition? 5? Or it's 3.5 years old now?
Yeah, but when I say sales are down, when they're the new material, the lack of, but the new material they're releasing, those sales are down.
There are outside factors that are playing into this as well. When you have books that are supposed to come out that, all of them were damaged in shipping.
Well, yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
We've had this. Again, WotC, get your shit together.
Because, that's one of those things. That's going to take sales down. And it's not going to take sales down for just that book.
No.
It's going to take it down for the next 3.
And tarnishes the brand.
It does.
So WotC, so Dungeons & Dragons sales are down. Pathfinder already has a playgroup.
I was going to say, Pathfinder sales aren't super high right now.
No, but they have a devoted playgroup. And a lot of people know that 2nd Edition is coming. So much like when we found out 3.5 was coming, you stopped buying 3rd Edition books and you're waiting for the new edition to come out.
So this is something that I want to comment on because I find this very funny. A lot of people are still... This happens with every edition of D&D too. There are people that don't want to invest in the new one.
Right.
And there are going to be those people that are like, Pathfinder 1's good for me.
Right. But...
I know it. I trust it. But yeah, there's a bunch of people that are going to jump on this new one.
Yeah, and as a guy, again, I've always said this. I hate D20. This edition of Pathfinder is really good. I can't wait to see the final product. I want to know what stuck, what didn't stick. It's fucking really good. And as someone who...
You do like Star Realms, though.
I love Star Realms. But Star Realms is nowhere near as crunchy as this.
No, it's not supposed to be.
This is super crunchy.
That's interesting.
Yeah, this is a super crunchy game. But as I've been playing a lot of 5th Edition. I run 5th Edition every Thursday. A lot of 5th Edition I've been playing. There are issues there are chinks in the armor of 5th Edition that I am starting to notice that I didn't notice
3 years ago.
3 years ago are the little times that we played it, because overall 5th Edition's an amazing system. It's great. It's fun. But there's a lot of depth that's not there. Pathfinder fixes that. What's going to be interesting to see is how successful Pathfinder is and how everyone, I can't wait to see if everyone praises it, because there's a lot they took from 4th Edition into this new Pathfinder game.
There's a 4th Edition aspect there.
Yeah.
There's a 3.5 aspect.
Yeah.
They had to borrow some of 5.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot that they had to put into this game. Some of the stuff that I've heard, because I've heard good and bad. Okay, I've heard praise and people knocking it.
There's some issues, but it's a playtest,
so it doesn't
right.
matter.
So the issue is I don't want to talk about the negative because it's playtest. I don't know if they're going to fix those.
But there's people that just love what Pathfinder has been.
Right.
And if it's not the same, they're just going, oh, fuck this.
Well, it's the same issue every time a new edition of D&D comes out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when 3rd edition came out, there were people freaking out because Thaco was gone. What do you mean you add instead of subtract? This doesn't make sense to me.
It works, by the way, guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, roll and add works a hell of a lot better than what the fuck came before it. But yeah, no, I admit when I'm wrong. Pathfinder still sucks. Pathfinder 2nd edition is really good.
Seems legit.
On the read. I haven't played it, but on the read through.
So far it seems legit.
Well, and you came in, when you walked in here today, you're like, what are you doing? I'm like, fucking watching Pathfinder videos.
Yeah, Pathfinder 2 videos,
I'm fucking getting everything geared up with it, because it intrigued me enough to fucking download the PDF and start reading it.
That's interesting.
The way they do hit points. Hit points is no longer done by class, it's done by race.
That's how it should be.
That's exactly how it should be. It makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, it does, because a human isn't going to have the same hit points as an orc.
Even though they're the same class. Right.
Class should affect it slightly.
Oh, and fuck, how they do ability scores is amazing.
So I've heard that they do it as more of a tree system like you'd see in a video game.
Yeah.
And it's more effective.
Yes. So instead of, like, you can still roll. Like, that's still an option, but fuck, every game's got that. Put that to the side for a second. The way it works in this game is you have 10s. Like, you start with 10s and everything. Your race and your class determine where the boosts go. So, like, you'll get here, 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 and here, and then you get some free choices. So, it's just,
It gives some good customization.
Right. And
it creates a meta, too.
Well, and that's the issue I'm running into with 5th edition is 5th edition, again, as much as we praise it.
Everything's the same.
Yeah, I make a wizard. Guess what? I died. Wizard. I make a fucking another wizard. Whereas looking at Pathfinder 2nd edition, it's...
Your wizards can be different.
A hell of a lot different. And there's so many different things you can do.
That's something that they've done right. The thing that scares me about it, and this is what happens in video games, is you get that metagaming thing, and I don't want that in a role-playing game.
But that metagaming is in every role-playing game. Those people are called rules lawyers.
And they're dicks. They're Pathfinder players, by the way.
No, they're
Do they exist in 5e?
They exist in every fucking role-playing game ever made.
Okay.
Even Vampire the Masquerade had rules lawyers.
Did they really?
Yeah. It was the one guy in the trench coat. Notice how they all wore trench coats in Vampire. No, every fucking role-playing game, it's the player type. I'm a rules lawyer. And like, if you read Knights of the Dinner Table, that is Brian. Brian is the rules lawyer.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, Pathfinder, 5th edition's in trouble. 5th edition has been in trouble for a little bit. You and I were talking earlier about, well, they need to get ready for 6th edition. I don't think we're there yet.
I didn't say we were there. I said this is something that can help to push 6th edition.
Don't want 6th edition. I want 5th edition. I like 5th edition.
You just want it better?
I want more product. We're 3 years into this game now. I don't have a second player's handbook. I don't have a Monsters Manual 2.
Do you want a second player's handbook?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, there's options. There are player options that need to come out. Like the whole point of, like, everyone's like, oh, you don't need a player's handbook 2 because da-da-da. The whole point of having a player's handbook 2 is to give more options to your characters.
So this is what I think they should do if they do a player's handbook 2. If they do a player's handbook 2, I don't think it needs to be all new content. I think it needs to be the original player's handbook plus new content.
I'm fine. Whatever. All new content. I don't care.
Well, I want it to be that so that somebody that's just getting in could be like, oh, I'm getting the 2nd edition of the player's handbook. It's got everything.
Well, then why would I fucking buy player's handbook 2?
That's what I'm saying.
Why would
So you have the extras?
Yeah, but fuck, I already have that information.
They could do it as a supplement too, though. They could have a small book.
Just do it like they've always done it.
Okay.
It works. It's the same shit they've done from 2nd edition on. And I use player handbook.
There's a bunch of stuff that applies
like
to. Armories,
yeah. There's so much wealth and knowledge in the D&D world. And while I love the fact that they're supporting the game with adventures, it's time to sit there and go, you know what? Let's get some shit out for the DMs. Let's get some shit out for the players, too.
Because you do get some of that, though, with, like, Xanther's Guide.
You're starting to. That's kind of a newer thing. Like
That's been the last, like, year and a half.
Yeah. So halfway into the life of the game, because it's a 3-year-old game.
That's fair. Fair.
And Xanther's Guide is a lot of... 95% of Xanther's Guide to everything is reprints from the supplements they put out, from the adventures.
Yeah.
So instead of that, let's get into the meat and potatoes of D&D. Third edition did this very well. They released supplements very well. Now, they saturated the market, and I get why WotC's afraid, but you know what? It's time for us to get a Book of Exalted Deeds. It's time for us to get a
whatever.
Dragonomicon. It is time for these.
You want those beefier, crunchier books.
Yeah, it is time. It is time for these to come out for 5th edition. We were promised when 5th edition came out that it was a game we could make as simple or as complex as we wanted it to be as gamers. Well, we've got the simplicity down pat. Where's my complexity?
I guess that's fair.
It's time.
I think that's a fair point. So, fuck, I don't even know where to go from that one.
Yeah. WotC, get your shit together.
Yeah, it has to be done now.
Hasbro. Listen, Papa. I need you to go downstairs, tell little WotC to get their shit together, or you're going to ground them for a week. And when that doesn't work, take away their iPad and fucking beat them.
To death.
Not to death. Whoa, not to death. Or fucking kick them out and let them survive on their own.
That could be huge.
It could be huge. Before Wizards was bought by Hasbro, they didn't have these issues.
No. Because you don't have to use the Hasbro distribution channels, and you don't have Papa Bear over your shoulder saying, "Hey, this is how you have to conduct this."
At the same time, though, you didn't have Papa Bear to fall back on either.
No, it's a double-edged sword for sure.
Like if WotC's sales are down, Hasbro's like, "It's cool, we got you."
We sell toys.
Well, not anymore. Toys R Us kind of went away, so they're Hasbro's hurting.
You know what's funny is, I was so Hasbro unveiled their first line of Power Rangers toys.
Yeah.
And basically, every toy that comes out now is meant to be a collector's item.
Yeah, Well, the
toys aren't for kids anymore.
No, the problem is with certain licensing, Power Rangers.
It's a nostalgia licensing to an extent.
So the collectors.
There's a bunch of new content there that they can be pushing out, though.
They could be, but they just got it back.
But they need to treat it in such a way that a kid can go to a store and, oh man, my dad likes the Green Ranger. I'm gonna buy the Green Ranger toy because it's $8.
And they're probably still gonna do that. But
hopefully.
But when they announce the announcements, they're not announcing it for kids.
No, they're not. And they're like, hey, these are Marvel Legends style figures.
Right.
Fuck. If you're a Power Rangers collector, you had the shitty action figures growing up. You want that good shit. You want that good shit. So I don't completely disagree with that, but it is one of those things that I think they need to cater to a broad audience.
I think they will.
Hopefully.
There's a YouTube guy I watch. I can't remember his name right now, mostly because I don't like giving plugs to other people. But his show is all about action figures. And
interesting. Okay.
He will take a franchise like Transformers and break down, the action figures and the history of the action figures and all that. And one of his episodes was about the changing market we're living in now, with the closing of Toys R Us, with
that's craziness too.
With sales of toys being down, because honestly,
video games are everything.
Well, kids nowadays, they have technology. The market has changed to where you can only produce so much. You can't produce everything. So do you dedicate a toy line to 8 to 12-year-olds, or do you go and say,
this is for the 25-year-olds that can afford it,
who have the money,
yeah,
and devote production to that? Whereas before it was, well, the 8 to 12-year-olds was our bread and butter. That's who we promote to. Again, much like with comics, that market's changing.
It is.
People say kids aren't reading comics or buying toys anymore, and that's not true. Kids never bought comics or toys. Their parents bought them for them. Problem is now parents are still buying the comics and toys and not buying for the kids.
Well,
because here's my cell phone, little Timmy. Here's my tablet, little Timmy. Here's the Xbox. Play Minecraft.
See, for me, like I'm a toy buyer. We're 90s kids. We were there when it was still toys.
Yes.
So I'm a toy buyer, and because of this, my kids are toy kids. And it's not.
Hold on. Well, I'm gonna. Here we go.
Shoot.
When I come over to your house, yeah, the kids have toys. The only time I see them playing with them is when me or you are playing with the toys with them.
Not always.
No, I'm saying from my observation.
Okay, fair enough.
I come over, they're watching YouTube videos on Minecraft or whatever that
they do a lot of that
little fucking game is they're playing. That Five Nights at Freddy. I don't understand that shit.
I don't either.
But your kids, while they may play with toys, are definitely not toy kids.
So, my younger son is.
Your younger son's how old now?
He's 5.
Yeah, but he's starting to.
Christopher is still a toy kid. Like, hours a day, my boys will absolutely play toys. I don't let my kids play video games all the time.
Right, but if they had the option between toys or video games.
Oh, generally they're going to pick the video games. Generally, yeah.
Whereas when we were growing up, like we had Nintendo, we had Sega, we had Super Nintendo. We also had toys, and given the choice between...
Oh, I was picking toys.
All day, every day.
100% of the time.
Yeah, like I loved my video game. I loved playing Mario Brothers, but I'd fucking rather go outside and use my imagination. Now, I'm not saying this is not me saying video games are bad, because they're not. I love video games. But what I am saying is, for the toy market to survive, it has to change. And it has to go after the people with disposable incomes.
It has to go after the adults.
Because,
and I guess that's fair.
Sorry, Christopher and Tia are not going to keep the toy line.
That's what Bandai's been doing with the Power Rangers line.
Yeah.
Because so you go get a Legacy Morpher. Okay, when I got a Morpher when I was a kid, it was probably $15-20. All right? A Legacy Morpher, which is basically they took the molds that they had when I was a kid, reprinted this Morpher. It's $60 fucking dollars. Why? Because it's not for the kids. It's for the grown-ups. They're making full-size helmets. 1-to-1 scale helmets.
Yeah.
1-to-1 scale dragon daggers.
Yeah.
When you have that shit, like, there's no way a kid can afford a $100 helmet.
Hold on though. Kids don't buy toys.
But kids' parents don't buy kids $100 helmets.
Some kids' parents do.
I would not, because it would leave the box.
Well, so there is a difference.
I'm disgusting.
Right, there is a difference between the collector buying this toy for the collector and the parent buying the toy, though it's pricey, for two reasons. Like, if I had a kid and I saw this 1-for-1, I'd probably buy it and let them play with it. I would buy it for my nostalgia fact, but then how cool it would be to see my little kid run around in a Power Ranger helmet. I'm in 100%. Now, when I have kids, that might change. Don't fucking touch my Godzilla toys, you little bastards.
It'll change, I promise.
Oh,
and you know what's funny? Is you end up giving away some of these toys. I've got fucking unopened Transformers and shit. And my kids are like, oh, wow, these are cool. I'm like, you know what? You can have it. And they're like, thanks. Rip, open it up, start playing with it. I'm like, I guess that's what it was made for. Can't be mad about it.
Until you watch 40-Year-Old Virgin, and that's how he made all his fucking money.
That's how he made his... But I don't give him everything. Like, my mom told me a long time ago, she's like, hey, it's awesome that you give your kids your stuff. She's like, but you've got your stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, it's fucking yours. She's like, so you keep some of it. She's like, everybody wants to pass stuff down to their kids. That's great. But you get to keep some of it. And don't forget that. And I was like, that's a fair point.
See, there's a big bag of McDonald's Happy Meal toys sitting in my mom's attic. Do you know how much those little fucking things are worth nowadays?
Those little chicken McNuggets that dressed up as Halloween
fucking
characters.
Insane.
Yeah.
The Transformer ones.
Oh my god, the Transformer ones are through the roof. And how many of those did we throw away?
We never did. So my mom, you would get a McDonald's toy and a Happy Meal, you play with it and you throw it away. That was tradition. My mom would dig them out of the trash. And she put them away. Like, there are bags in my mom's attic of McDonald's Happy Meal toys. The conversation has come up many times to her of sell them on eBay, da-da-da, and she says no. I'm like, why? Those are for the grandkids. Because McDonald's don't do toys like that no more.
Fuck no, they don't.
And
it's trash now.
So it's kind of a race to see and pop out the first kid so we can get those fucking McDonald's Happy Meal toys back.
That's hysterical.
And the chances are none of us are going to have kids, but
if it happens,
we're getting those fucking McDonald's toys.
Like, we need them.
Like, yeah, they're sitting in the bag. She's like, they're for the grandkids. They're not for sale. They're there for when we have grandkids. That's her thing. And yeah, Chris, we ate McDonald's quite a bit.
All of us did. And it wasn't unhealthy then.
There's a lot of fucking toys in there. Like I said, 3 or 4 bagfuls, big grocery bagful. And remember those small toys? These aren't big toys.
No, they're not.
Toys.
It doesn't. I'll tell you what. Over a year, you amass a lot of McDonald's toys.
Oh yeah, and I've got sets of the Transformer toys.
So we kept sets growing up of those. Like, my grandma didn't throw those away. 'Cause she kept sets of them. And we had sets of them, and she ended up using them as decorations and stuff. She's like, well, these are cute, and you kids don't play with them. I'm going to take them and use them as Halloween decorations, because those dress them up McNuggets, those are fucking worth a little bit of money now.
Now, yeah.
And she didn't give a shit. She was like, doesn't matter, they're cutesy cute. And then when some little kids come in and want to play with them, they can play with them, but they're not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. And it's like, damn, Grandma. Mm-hmm. Damn.
Those things are worth money now.
It's weird. But it's the things that nobody saved, that nobody cherished, that ends up being worth money.
Fucking Beanie Babies aren't worth dick.
No, because that was
because everyone thought they were going to be.
It was a collector's item. Yeah, you're right.
You don't like we talk like the one for one, those big collector items. You're not buying them because they're going to be worth money. I think using the word collector is a bad fucking term.
You buy it for your collection,
right? And I think that's the issue. Is people tend to think that, well, I'm collecting something, so it's going to be worth money one day. That is not why you should be a collector. That's not why you should collect anything.
No, you collect for loving what you're doing.
Right. It's that sense of accomplishment, happiness,
that being
pride.
said, all of those collector's runs of things do end up increasing in value relatively quickly. Hear me out. So any of those, we were talking about the Power Rangers Legacy stuff, so I'll stick with that. All of that stuff has a nice little markup on it now, even if it came out 2 years ago, because it's no longer in production. Like, you create that scarcity with it, all of a sudden, yeah, you can go pick it up for $50, $100, and next year it's worth $200 because they don't sell it anymore.
Maybe.
It happens all
We're,
the time.
so the thing is this,
Marvel Legends figures, another prime example.
Hold on. There's a game, a role-playing game called Little Fears. Did we talk about this on the show?
No, I don't think so.
Little Fears is, if you go to Amazon, the first edition of Little Fears. So there's two editions of this role-playing game. First edition Little Fears is selling for $10,000 on Amazon.
Jesus.
I have a copy of Little Fears, the first edition role-playing game. Just because something is selling for $10,000 doesn't mean it will sell for $10,000. So the worth of $10,000 for that game, yeah, it is worth $10,000 on Amazon.
If somebody will buy it.
If someone will buy it.
So I'm speaking more from a you get on eBay and this is what they're selling at standpoint. Like, even so, those Marvel Legends figures, most of those you can pick up for about $15, $20.
Right, and then you turn around and sell them in 2 years for $100, but you're
or you might double your money or get an extra $5.
That's not really a sound investment.
No, but that's the thing. Like we were talking about, you're not buying those.
Right, I spent
investment sake.
$20 on a role playing game, and on Amazon it's selling for $10,000. If I could find this copy of this role playing game, a lot of the problems you and I have talked about would go away real fucking quick.
Wouldn't they, though?
Real fucking quick.
Oh, no. I don't need the game.
Right. No. So how that came to be was I was doing some research, and I was like, God, Little Fears. Little Fears is a weird role. Fuck it, let's talk about this.
Shoot.
Little Fears is a weird role-playing game. It was very dark and gritty, but you played kids. Like, you're playing kids, there was everything was real. All the nightmares, the boogeyman, the monsters under the bed in the closet, they were real. And you would go to Closet Land and you would fight the fucking monsters, right? The boogeyman, the kings and queens of Nightmare Land, all of that was real. And as you grew older, you lost innocence. Losing innocence meant you forgot how to make believe. Where the game got really dark in first edition was that wasn't all the game was about. They brought in a lot of dark shit. Child molestation, kidnapping, child murder.
God.
The first part of the book was statistics on how many kids were being abducted. It was a dark game.
That's scary.
In high school, I bought this game when I was in high school, and I read it, and I was like, fuck, it was dark and deep. That was first edition. Second edition, they took all of that away. Took all the dark shit away and made it more of a fantasy game. Your kids, fantasy, yay, lighthearted fantasy type shit. So once I was doing some research on that, I didn't know they did a second edition of the game. And I was like, fuck, I have this game downstairs somewhere. And I hopped on Amazon, and I was like, fuck it, I'll buy another copy. Fuck, let's do it. How much is it going? No, I'm not paying $10,000 for it, but I'm going to go dig up my copy. That's what I'm working on now, is digging up my copy of that fucking game.
You're like, I will photocopy it and sell it.
I downloaded the PDF.
There you go.
Like right then and there. But it is a
disturbing game,
but it's fantastic at the same time.
That's fair.
It is an amazing game with that.
It's thought-provoking.
Well, it's thought-provoking, and in the sense of, at the time this game came out, we had World of Darkness. We had these deep, involving role-playing games, and they said, hey, let's go back to being a child. Guess what? It's not all puppies and rainbows.
That's obscene. That's crazy.
It is crazy. It's insane. At the end, at the last page of the book was a bunch of phone numbers. Child missing, da-da-da-da-da, all that information on how to help missing children or all that good stuff. But it was a dark and tough read. I never played the game.
I couldn't bring myself to
do it. Well, I was just graduated high school at that time, but it was too deep. It was a very...
If you're going for an escape, that's a fucking creepy escape.
It is. And that's why I don't think the first game sold very well. The first edition sold very well. But the storyline, the idea behind that game was amazing.
That's intense.
And like they had a rule like as you played your children, you know, as you aged, because leveling up was not levels, it was age, you would start losing innocence and things would start getting creepy. So that's where the nightmare, the tone would be the nightmare, the boogeyman, all that would slowly transform into real world horrors. That's where the molestation, that's where the kidnapping would come from. So you go from the boogeyman in the imagination land to real world shit as a character. And it was deep and awesome, and I wish I could find a group to play that, but I don't think I want to delve into that part. Like that would be
hard.
But I think it'd be worth it.
I think that's one of those things that while you're playing that, you would be tearing yourself apart.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean that as a no, you would be like psychologically, I think you would be breaking yourself down in a very profound way, which is probably why they did the second edition the way they did.
Yeah, the second edition's more of a Stranger Things, E.T. type game
kind of thing.
Yeah. Whereas that first edition is fuck me running. Like like that game.
No!
That fuck me running. That game was deep.
That's scary.
No, but it was good. Like I'm not saying it was good because
of the
subject matter.
Yeah.
I'm saying it was good because it tackled that subject matter, and it proved that role-playing games can be something more than just I'm a hero. And up until then, even World of Darkness, it was I'm a monster, but how do I maintain my humanity? That idea of getting deep into the psyche of an individual. We've all been kids. Not all of us have been werewolves and vampires. Not all of us have been wizards.
We have been kids.
We've all been... That is a scientific fact. At one point in our lives, we were all children.
Well, I think that's what makes the game so interesting. What baggage do you carry because of that?
Exactly.
No, that's pretty incredible. That was 2001, 2002?
99, 2000, yeah.
That's fucking impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say that it's fucked up. It's fucking impressive.
It was a small release of a game. I picked it up when Games and Crafts closed as one of the bargain bin items. It was like $20.
And you got that.
I got to find... Yeah, it's locked away in a box somewhere in the basement.
So
I always at my mom's.
Speaking of things that end up being worth money, if you play paintball, they have these Winchester hoppers. And Winchester, the gun company, made hoppers for paintball guns for a little bit. And they were these little 50-round hoppers. They were $3-4, dirt cheap. Okay? Nobody really used them. They weren't that great. So production run ended relatively quickly. Well, then people start playing pump paintball. You want a 50-round hopper for that. And you want one that's basically shaped like this. You don't get jams. You don't get all... Like, it's ideal. So I picked up 2 of these for $8 7-8 years ago. Didn't think anything of it. I was like, great, I'll end up using these. I get on eBay the other day. They're $50 a pop.
Yeah.
I'm like, bye.
Well, it's one of those things is you never... Well, I guess what we're trying to say is don't buy shit because you think it's going to be worth money.
No, buy it because you like it.
Right. I went on a quest the other day. Rev.
Yeah.
You know Rev. Him and I, one Thursday night, we were talking about books we read. I hate Lord of the Rings as a book. Okay? Lord of the Rings as a book destroyed fantasy literature for me for a very long time in my life. Because when I was growing up, everyone said you needed to read Lord of the Rings. It's the best fantasy book ever written. And you read it, and it sucks. It is a horribly written book. It's very dry.
I was going to say it's a very dry book.
It's a very dry, horribly written book because Tolkien did not want to tell a story. He wanted to build a world. Okay?
Tolkien was a genius.
He was, but he wanted to build a world. He really didn't care about the ring. He didn't care about the characters. He cared about the world. And it shows. As you get older, that's something that you can actually appreciate, was the story was secondary to the world building. When you're 11, 12, 13...
You're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
no, you want to read Harry Potter instead.
Well, fuck Harry Potter. We'll go down that road in a minute. So I never read fantasy growing up. I read sci-fi, I read a lot of that, but I never really read fantasy. I got older and someone said I needed to read Dragonlance Chronicles.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Read it, loved it, and that's the trilogy that's like, all right, fantasy is a viable
Fantasy's
fucking
good.
thing because it's well written. It's okay written, but it's about the characters. Well, Rev and I were talking about that. We were reminiscing, and I realized that I hadn't fucking read the book in about 7 years, or the original Chronicles. I went on when I called you Thursday. I was like, I'm going on an adventure. I went to 4 different fucking bookstores.
Couldn't find it?
I found it.
Oh, did you?
But I had to go to 4 to find all 3.
Wow.
It took all day, but it was worth it. So now I'm reading Dragons of Autumn Twilight, the first one of the Chronicles.
That's awesome.
It's a good book. Have you read it?
No.
You should.
Let me borrow it when you're done.
When I'm done, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll read it. I'm looking for some stuff to read right now.
Yeah, no, it's good. The reason I said is so I get on these. I get on these missions, like is what Courtney calls them, and it's like I gotta have this.
It's obsession.
Yeah, no, it's.
I'm the same way.
And nothing will stop me from. I will go place to place.
No,
to
it's
place.
all you think about.
And here's the thing: I could have bought it on Amazon. I spent $24 for the 3 books.
Not gratifying.
Amazon had them for $20, free shipping. So I would have saved $4.
Not gratifying.
But I wouldn't have had it that day.
Yeah, not gratifying.
I would have had to wait. And that was the issue. So I get on these missions, and I will go and go and go and go and go. And that was Thursday. 4 different bookstores.
That's awesome.
Last time I did that, looking on a mission, was I was looking for a fucking movie.
Which one?
I don't see this problem. I don't remember because it's irrelevant.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
anymore.
matter. It doesn't matter.
It was just at that time.
It was
all that mattered.
I needed that movie.
No, that is a collector problem to the nth fucking degree.
Oh,
dude, when I get fixated on something, that's it.
It's the worst thing ever because you're like,
dude. Most recently, it was fishing for me.
It still should be fishing for you.
I'm not saying that it's not.
No, we still need to go fishing.
We do Thursday.
Yeah, no, we need to do our special fishing trip.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
So
where we touch butts.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Butt on butt. All
Butt
day.
on, B on B.
B on B at the B&B.
Booty hole to booty hole. Whoa! We made the same joke at the same time.
So, no. So with fishing, it was all right. Well, I want one rod that I can use for everything.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
That's fucking bullshit. So then you're like, well, I want to make a catfish rig.
So you make a catfish rig.
I'm like, I can make a catfish / carp rod. That's viable. That's a viable option. So I'm looking at the things that I need to get for that. And I'm like, well, I actually need a bass rig now because I'm always fishing for bass.
Right. Well, if you notice with me, I have 2 poles that I always take out when we go fishing.
Yeah.
There's my bass pole and my whatever the fuck bites pole.
Yep.
Because I can catch catfish, carp, bluegill, whatever on the whatever fuck bites pole. Because I just throw it out there.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'll take it. Yeah. Fuck. We caught a fucking turtle off that pole. We thought it was something nice.
I told you about Christopher's turtle incident.
Yeah, I told you the turtle's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
That fucker fought.
Well, the thing is, like, when it comes to that, like, going on those missions, the obsession, the collector's thing is...
you want your collection to be complete.
And we now live... The problem is we live in an age now where I can just hop on my phone, order it, and get it here.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It doesn't...
Okay, so one of the things that I bought was I bought a bass rod. Still waiting for a reel on it, okay? The reel, haven't been able to find yet. I'm like, no reel is going on this fucking rod until I find the one that I want for it. I'm not ordering it online. I'll go to the stores, and when one of them has it, it'll go on there. Until then, nothing. Fucking nothing. Why? Because it has to be my way. It has to be that day. It's going on there.
Yeah. See, for me, there's a cookie out there.
Which one?
Miss Allison's Jelly Top Cookies. They don't make them anymore. It's a dead cookie. In my heart of hearts, they're somewhere, and you would get these at the dollar store. So these were cheap cookies. They were like little shortbread round cookies with a fucking jelly right in the middle, right? And it was the nastiest teeth-sticking jelly that you could fucking get.
Because it was at the dollar store.
Right. But in my heart of hearts, somewhere I know, someone is making this fucking cookie. People buy me the Knott's cookies. People buy me, and they're not the same. Fuck that shit. So every time we go to a dollar store in a different town, like me and Corey go to the country or whatever,
peeking for 'em?
I'm gotta go because someone's got to make them somewhere.
I'm finding these goddamn cookies.
Yeah, and that's right there. That's the mission of my lifetime. Now I've hopped online and looked. They're out there. They're out there, and if I'm ever in New York, I'm getting some. God damn it.
We need to just make a trip to New York.
We do. Fuck.
It'll be a fucking cookie trip. What do you guys go to New York for? Dollar store cookie.
I went to New York for a fucking film school interview. Slept in my car.
I think a dollar store cookie is a much better story.
I do too.
Oh, you guys went there to go to a dollar store. Yeah.
Yeah, to get cookies. You know how much the fucking New York dollar store cookies cost? $1.50. Fucking ripoff.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Let's fucking do it.
I think that's hysterical. That would be an adventure.
Yeah, like people think fucking Frodo taking the ring to Mount Doom is epic and life changing. No, god damn it, going for fucking cookies.
Going to the mysterious land of
New York for cookies
that we don't understand. We don't understand that
fuck
place.
New York, I don't get it. I
yeah,
shit. I barely get St. Louis.
Yeah, we're not from there. We're from the biggest small town in the world.
I barely get it.
Yeah, we can't get it.
No, fuck St. Louis.
That place, dude, we'd be lost.
Would we? We'd just find a dollar store. And we turn around
on the outskirts of the city.
The problem is, I would buy one package, eat it. I would eat one cookie, realize how shitty it is, and be like, "All right, I'm good."
No, you wouldn't. You would pound a package of them.
Yeah.
You would have another one in the car. You'd be eating it before we got out of the parking lot.
Yeah. Oh no, shit! Before we got out of the store.
And then we would be in the car, and I think you'd probably buy about 20 of them.
You think?
Yeah, I do. I think that would be a $20 endeavor.
Okay.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Right.
You'd spend your $20,
yeah,
maybe 25,
yeah,
and we'd be driving back, and you would eat half of them. Half of them.
Okay.
You would save the other half, and you'd be like, "These are for a rainy day," because Roger does odd things like this.
Okay. Well, speaking of odd things, so last night I'm playing PUBG with my brother and my friend Bob and Jake, whatever, and they're like, "All right, we're hopping off because Bob's wife made a cake, and it's 11 o'clock." I'm like, "Fuck, I want cake." My brother, being an asshole, he's like, "Oh shit, I got a cupcake I gotta eat." I'm like, "Oh, now I really want cake." I'm like, "Jake, do you got cake?" He's like, "No, I don't have no cake." I'm like, "Cool, well, at least you don't have cake." Well, the fucker goes, "Hey, I got pie."
Done.
So I'm like, "Motherfucker."
I'm on my way.
No, here's the worst part. So Jake lives in Kansas City, Bob lives in Champaign, Tony lives in Chicago. All right? All fucking 4 to 8 hour drives.
Yeah.
These assholes start sending pictures of the cake and cupcake and pies that they're devouring. It's now 1 a.m. I want fucking cake. I find myself at 1:30 a.m. at Shop and Save looking at cake. Do you know what I ended up buying?
Yellow cake chocolate icing?
No, because I didn't have any yellow cake chocolate
icing. What the fuck?
Here's how bad it got. I bought golden cupcakes, which are yellow cake chocolate icing cupcakes from Hostess.
Just not good.
They're okay. I like them.
It's not as good.
You rip the frosting off and I'm fucking happy. Because the frosting's shitty.
It's bad.
Chocolate peanut butter Twinkies.
Oh, God.
Chocolate peanut butter. Which are not as good as the chocolate peanut butter ding dongs.
You know what? That fucking chocolate deep fried Twinkie is still one of the greatest joys that I've ever experienced.
I got home at 2 a.m. from my endeavor. I was like, here's me standing in line. Picture this. My fat ass. Standing in line at Shop and Save.
With a couple of boxes of Hostess.
With a fucking box of golden cupcakes and a box of Twinkies. That is it.
Yeah.
That is all I have. And I'm in line. Like, for some reason at 2 a.m. on a fucking Sunday morning, that fucking place was busy as shit. I'm in line for 20 goddamn minutes holding these 2 boxes while people are buying groceries. And the poor cashier looked at me and she's like, "Is this all?" I'm like, "Yeah. It's fucking, I wanted cake.
I need this.
I need cake." I made it halfway to my car before I ate a chocolate peanut butter Twinkie.
Damn right. Damn.
I took a picture.
Right.
I sent it to those assholes.
You're like, fuck
I was like, "Fuck you, I got my cake."
That's you have to. You have to.
Normally, I have gotten very good about saying, "Oh, I want cake. Fuck it, I'm going to bed." Those fuckers sent pictures. They upped the ante. They sent pictures of their cake and pie.
This is what bliss looks like, Roger.
Yeah.
I will experience
And the worst part is, it wasn't good-looking cake or pie. It wasn't like, it was the fact that they teased me enough with pictures of cake and pie knowing I didn't have any.
Fuck them.
You ever have that moment in your house? Like, we all say this, where there's literally nothing to eat in your house. You're like, "Oh my God, there's nothing to eat."
I've got a can of beans that I can't eat.
But you open up, you open up, and there's like green beans, corn, fucking everything. Last week, I went to open the pantry, and there was nothing in the pantry.
Nice.
There was nothing but 1 can of green beans. And I didn't eat it, but I was so sad. So I go back to play video games, and I'm pissed. I'm like, "There's nothing to eat." And they're like, "Oh, there's something." I'm like, "Yeah, a can of green beans." And then I remembered, in the freezer was 1 bag of tater tots. Do you know how good freezer burnt shitty tater tots are when you realize that's the only thing you have to eat other than a can of green beans?
How good?
Fucking amazing. I didn't even have ketchup to put on them, but I had my goddamn tater tots.
The other night,
little cayenne pepper.
The wife and I were hanging out, and we found these mini tacos at Walmart.
Yeah.
That are to die for. And we found these about a month ago, right before we moved, and fell in love with them.
The El Magua, whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah. So we go, and she's like, "Can we do mini tacos tonight?" And I was like, "You're damn right we can."
Goddamn right.
So we did mini tacos, frozen pizza. It was a bunch of frozen shit.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
We ate that, and then at like 1:30 in the morning, she's like, "Babe, I'm hungry," and I'm like, "Yeah, you need some of these mini tacos?" Fucking right. And there's nothing else in the house at this point. Okay,
mini tacos. Fuck it. Who cares?
You didn't need anything else.
Yeah,
it was
tacos.
like gold was coming out of the
fucking
freezer.
mini tacos and a little bit of sour cream.
And that's what we had.
You're fucking
we
golden.
had just enough sour cream for this particular endeavor.
Or if you're a real man,
also.
if you're a real man, you deep fry the mini tacos with ranch dressing.
So what you run into with deep frying the mini tacos is they're not always sealed, so you'll lose a bunch of the shit.
You're good.
I'll deep fry anything. You know this.
We know this.
You know this. I love them deep fryers.
Yeah, deep fried mini tacos though. Those are the way. So we gotta
wrap it up here.
Fuck that. Jack in the Box tacos might be the best thing in the world when they're made properly.
Oh yeah.
But I will say this: I have found the new love.
What's that?
The Hot Shots tacos.
They're all right.
They're so much better than Jack in the Box
I don't
tacos.
like them.
Well, you're fucking wrong.
You can say that.
I did. And I'll say it again.
So I like the Jack in the Crack ones
Chris,
better.
Get your shit together.
Like them better. The Hot Shots ones are so-so.
No, the Hot Shot ones are way better.
They're not.
Oh. Listeners, here's your call to action for this week.
You have to be in St. Louis, by the way, because that's where Hot Shots is.
There's Hot Shots around the country.
Not
very places.
That's a St. Louis
If you're fortunate enough to have a Hot Shots near you, which tacos are better? Jack in the Box or Hot Shots? And if you need comparison, I will meet you at the Hot Shots and have tacos any day of the week. You just let me know. Hit a brother up. I will eat some tacos.
All right, guys. What I want you to do is go to entertainthegeeky.com. There you can find all of our social media and all that fun stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Like Roger said, let us know what's up with this taco debate. And as always...
Oh, hold on.
What?
Also, guys, let's continue that conversation we had earlier on. Would Wolverine beat Superman? If so, why?
Good one.
Or why not? And I will tell you why you're wrong.
Wolves v Superman. As always, stay geeky.
Watsy, get your shit together.